Welcome back to Talkin' Baseball. We got schedules, we got inter-squad games, we got a season coming your way, we think. Let's talk about it as if it is. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin' Baseball. My name's Jimmy. I got Jake here. We got Trev coming to us from California. Producer BBD's in the room. And we have a bunch of schedules. We got some inter-squad games out here in New York. The Yankees were on TV. Things are happening. We're moving. The testing, maybe it's getting resolved. Who knows? Jake, how are you doing?
I'm great, Jim. It's the best time of the year. Deep diving into intra-squad games without outfielders and pitchers getting warm in the outfield during the games. We got a real treat. We got to see some live PFP, some pitchers fielding practice, which was a real treat. And then, yeah, man, just seeing guys get back into it around the league. I think there was almost a full 360. I was pretty nervous about the testing stuff. And that was the headlines for a full day. And then each team kind of played an intra-squad game, and now almost all those stories are gone. So I'm doing well. I've got a really odd posture right now, but it's feeling good, so I'm going to let it ride. And I don't know, just kind of wish I was getting nasty in Calabasas with Trev right now.
Is that what's happening over there, Trev?
I don't know about getting nasty. But I woke up.
We're all spelling it with an I at the end, right?
Oh, it's kind of like thick with two C's.
The I when you hold it down on the iPhone and it gives you two dots on top of it.
Yes.
Like Cam Newton's typing it.
Yes.
Huh. Or Clevenger if we want to keep it baseball.
Clev, come on, baseball pod.
I love Cam Newton. Got to say.
I want to do shrooms with Clev. Put that on the record. Next.
Gosh, I mean, I've had my experiences. I think I'm done with the
really?
mushrooms. But I appreciate you guys interrupting me telling our fans how I'm feeling today.
Tell us.
I woke up in a great mood. I'm feeling great. I have a few questions for you guys about the inter-squad games, about the schedules. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about the testing, things I've heard from the guys around the league. It's a good day.
Did either of you watch the schedule announcement show?
Oh, yes.
I don't get MLB Network at home.
Presented by Camping World.
Yeah, so I did not watch it. Can you tell me what it was like?
So we guessed at it, and we were pretty close. I think the only thing we were off on was they did more like team-by-team individual reveals. Like they did the full opening night slate. And then there's like a following opening night because they're not having everyone play on Thursday or the 23rd, whatever day that is. So they kind of had both opening nights. And then it was kind of funny because they tried to do a football schedule release and they talked about like big matchups and, you know, this team returns here. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, let's see what's going on in the season, but... And then they showed what they were going to do for the Trevor Plouffe Advanced Fielding Days. Like they're going to hold a Jackie Robinson Day. They're going to hold a couple holiday type games where they'll change some jerseys and stuff. So, yeah, I mean the show was pretty bad. I watched the first minute, and then I took Noodle outside to go poop, and I was going to do a hilarious video where I was going to make fun of the Yankee. I was like, all right, I'm talking Jake here. This is the Yankees' first half of the schedule. They're going to have to navigate it well. And here's Noodle the Doodle Dog with the second half of the Yankees' schedule, and it was just going to be him taking a shit. But he didn't poop, so.
Did you hate that?
So then I did.
You should have pooped and then had him squat over it, and the comments would have been like, that's human shit. Jake, did you just shit and make your dog squat over it?
I normally would do that, but I was at Central Park, and that'd be strike 3, so.
Okay.
What is going on right now with you two?
Presented by Camping World. Presented by Camping World.
Trev.
My goodness.
In a 162-game season, what was your relationship with the schedule announcement and the schedule? Did you look ahead past the month? Did you look past the week? Did you just look for California road trips? How did you? It's 2016. I say the schedule's been released. What are you doing when you first see it?
I think the first thing that everybody does, and you kind of know what division you're going to play interleague, but you don't know where you're going to play these teams. So everyone goes and says, okay, we're playing the NL West. Like, are we going here? Where are we going? And then after that, you look at your off days and you say, oh, shoot, I got a day game and then an off day and we're in New York. Like, what are we doing? Like, stuff like that is kind of what you look to. And then you'll set your eyes towards end of the season where it's like, obviously I didn't have a lot of these experiences in my time with the Twins, but you look like, hey, we're in a playoff race. What's the last 2 weeks look like? Because that's always fun to speculate and be like, okay, we're 2 games up and now we got to face these guys, blah, blah, blah. So the schedule release was always fun. I don't think you need to have a show about it because you're not the NFL. But definitely something that each guy – so I think it usually comes out when? Like December or January? When does it come out typically? Maybe even before that.
I don't even tell you.
I don't even –
that's the thing is it's not a big deal usually.
Schedule release isn't – I don't – like this is 60 games, so I looked at it because it's a little more fun. But when it's 162 games – do you know, BBD? Are you a schedule release guy?
The only hint I could give you is because the Yankee fans were so excited for Houston this year. So when did that happen? January?
I want to say it's actually earlier than that, and it might even be September, like end of the season. They already have next year's schedule lined up. I'm pretty sure that's.
I think they kind of like roll out a good amount of it pretty early like that now, but they like give you the official times and lock
the times
everything
are different
in for sure in January. Something.
They'll change a few games to Sunday night games and all that, but
yeah. So all right, that's cool. Good to know. But I applaud MLB Network for doing the release show. I just think it's incredibly hard to structure that in a way to make it interesting. Like I tried thinking about it for a while, and I couldn't figure out how you would present all of that information in an interesting way. Actually, that's kind of what we're doing right now. This is what this episode is. So we'll see how we do.
I have a question for you guys that's been on my brain for a long time.
Yes.
Just want to before I forget it.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about the NFL and they're so popular, and Sunday is essentially the NFL's day. Like they own Sunday.
Yep.
And that's cool. They play 16 games. They're trying to get that 17th game in there, I believe. But they play 16 games a year, so I understand why like there's a fever for it on Sundays. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have MLB that plays 162 games, which most people will look at and be like, my goodness. But if, let's just say, hypothetically, the MLB is like, you know what, let's go that route. Let's do the shortened season thing. Let's do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's it. Let's play 60 games, or let's even go less than that. If MLB went down to 32 games, do you think it would be as popular or even more popular as the NFL is on Sunday? Like, do you think there'd be more fanfare over those Saturday and Sunday games than there is the NFL on a Sunday?
Maybe it becomes a day. It's really a completely different sport, and we're going to witness that and feel that out this summer. But, I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's not how I intake baseball. So,
like you said, we're going to get that this year. This is to the best that we are ever probably going to actually get it.
No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying 3 days a week. We're getting 7 days a week.
You'd be ingesting baseball very differently. It would be, people, you'd plan a weekend to Baltimore and stuff. It'd be like football games. Like when I lived in Denver, you could tell who the opposing team was on Thursday night because they packed the city. So that aspect would be pretty cool. Like we would, if the Yankees were playing Baltimore for a 4-gamer on the weekend, like, hey, let's head down. Let's go catch a few games. So I think that's a cool aspect. And I guess series would matter more. I would, in that fake dream world, I would almost spread out the season a little more. So, yeah, if you're going to do those weekend sets, And then maybe each team gets a bye week, and it's an interesting concept. I think.
Could they get 100,000 people in a stadium?
In a baseball stadium?
If they did that, they said it was just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Probably not for the big series, but that's kind of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't. See, the thing is, this is exactly what I don't like about Manfred. Don't make baseball football. I don't like football that much. I love baseball. I like being able to sit down at the dinner with my parents and my brothers and sisters and the game's on, and you can pay attention to both while having a conversation. I like that after dinner, you go sit down and you watch the 4th through the 9th inning, and you're kind of just chilling and relaxing, and my mom can be reading a book and my dad can be doing this, but we're all watching the game together. Like, I don't need a big gung-ho, it's game day. It's just not baseball. That's not what baseball is. So, like, that's what Manfred's mindset seems to be, trying to make it football. They're two completely different atmospheres. Instead of trying to buy off football's atmosphere, just embrace, you have a conversational sport. It's slow. You talk while it happens. You enjoy things. You think and discuss the pitch sequence. It's not like a game day, let's chug some beers, go to the parking lot. It's not what it is.
Oh, you're getting me fired up right now.
Yeah.
Can you say game day again?
Game day.
I've got a couple things that I
How long are you going to be in that position?
Dude, I'm so comfortable.
For the people that don't
I
know,
can't
Jake
tell.
has, when you put the baseball bat behind your back but in front of your arms to
I've
get
got
that,
my arms locked
to get
with the bat behind
the twisty stretch in. That's what he's doing.
And it feels great. My posture's fantastic. A couple things. One, I caught you, I think you almost said, I think for your life, your whole speech has been watching the game with my family and my mom's doing something. I think your speech almost turned into watching the game with my family, which is a pretty nice step for you. Got a fiance and stuff, dog, like,
Yep.
ooh,
Yep.
that.
I don't know if Mac likes baseball yet.
That's adult Jim.
I promise you, Mac likes baseball. So, and harpooning into Jimmy's point, that's not a phrase, is like the baseball football comparison. Instead of trying to get that 100,000 on a couple days, let's lean into the 20, 30,000 every day that really inhale the sport. It's my podcast comparison. Like, when people listen to Joe Rogan, they are lost in it for 3 hours, and that's baseball. And Joe Rogan just got the biggest deal ever. Like, let's lean into the people that are locked into baseball, and other people will come. That's why, like, there's losers like us watching an intra-squad game where Phil Nevin's hitting PFP to guys. Like, let's lean into those folks, and then others will come who like the game.
Stop trying to get casual fans and just allow the people that love your sport, turn casuals into diehards. Don't just go scraping for casuals. That's what I've been saying. Football is great. It's so many casual fans. It's so easy to be a football fan. It's one game.
I do
People
have
barely watch it. They just go and drink and eat it.
Yeah, the reason football, and I think this is like probably not talked about enough, but the real reason that football is so damn popular in the U.S. is because fantasy football. If there was no fantasy football, football would not be the sport that it is. Obviously, it still would draw eyes, and people love the game of football, but that has gotten the casual fan. I mean, we're talking about every demographic is playing fantasy football, and now you're knowing guys from all across the league that you would have known, and they have that stranglehold on that kind of fantasy world that baseball hasn't. They're trying to tap into, and people do play fantasy baseball, but not at the same rate that they do fantasy football. I think they've done such a good job leaning into that, and the players have bought into it too.
I have the solution if you guys want to hear it.
Yes.
It's an app, because the whole thing nowadays, the great baseball argument is, NBA, you see LeBron and he's got the ball in his hands every possession. Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Soto, Acuna, you're going to see them take 4 at-bats a game. Instead of blacking out the games and restricting people, why don't we have an app that every time Judge comes up, you get a notification? Every time Acuna comes up, you get a notification.
That exists.
And then you tie that to fantasy baseball, so people have their teams and they say, oh, shoot, Harper's up, let me go see it.
Doesn't that exist?
Not for baseball.
It's like you're talking about like a red zone for baseball.
Red zone meets fantasy for baseball.
Like if I have the ESPN app, it will alert me when my players are up. in games.
Right, but
not
I'm
the
saying you could
video.
actually watch them.
Oh, so you're just combining MLB TV and Fantasy Baseball app.
A little bit.
Someone could make that app very easily.
So easily. They'd have to
Well,
stop blacking out the games. But
yeah, like
people want
our
to
guy
see
Keith
stars,
was on-
right?
Our guy Keith was on Twitter today, and he made a great point. MLB.TV offering $60 subscriptions for the 60-game season.
Yeah.
Yet, for 162 games, it was $120. So they're actually charging you more per game,
Yeah.
and they're still blacking things out. It's ridiculous.
I don't think they're blacking things out.
Oh, they stopped that?
I think they are. And
I mean, it makes zero sense for them to continue blackouts.
I'd say my only final point on that, and we're a little off the tracks, which I like because we're talking baseball. But, I mean, picture, you're at a bar, you're hanging out with buddies, and, his first 2 at-bats, Freddie Freeman hit a home run. Like, for that third at-bat, then you get, like, everyone who's on the app is like, Freddie Freeman's up trying to hit his 3rd home run. People would click that. The casuals would click that because we love that shit. That's the whole McGuire-Sosa thing. So, all right, I'm coming down.
Yeah. MLB TV does sort of do that when you have it. Like it'll be like a no-hitter and then you click it and the game's on.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's just tie it to fantasy. So the MLB TV put out a thing that says it's the change. What Keith is referencing, the change. We're excited to bring you every 2020 out of market regular season game. So
What about
that's the
out of
same
market?
thing. Yeah.
It's
So
the
they
same
didn't
thing.
change it. I don't think they can just change that on a whim. They have to wait till the cable deals end and then change, unless they want
The
to
whole thing was
buy
supposed
out.
to be because of fans in the building.
I know. I'm just
that
saying. I
doesn't
think
make
they're
sense
tied to
to me.
contracts.
Yeah.
That
They don't care about
Well,
contracts. They
they've
just try
got
to weasel their
contract
way
lawyers.
out. Yeah, we know that.
They got contract lawyers.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Good.
well, all right. The schedule has come out, and according to an article on theathletic.com written by Tim Britton,
Now
Job,
I'm going
Tim.
to it.
he concluded that the Twins have the easiest schedule in the league, the Orioles have the hardest, the Reds benefited the most, the AL West is hurt the most, and the NL East is basically the same. So those are some points. I mean, we can go into some team schedules and do it. There's not a whole lot there. Like my early thing is the Yankees schedule looks super easy. I got cocky when I read it. If the Blue Jays aren't a threat, the Blue Jays can be pesky. I'm not saying I think the Blue Jays can dominate the Yankees. The Yankees have a lot of talent, but they can go like 5-5, 6-4. Like if the Blue Jays have the ability, if they're at all cylinders, to do that. If the Blue Jays are down and out and they're not really playing for anything at the tail end of the season, Yankee schedule at the end is super easy. I looked at the Astros, kind of the same thing. They play this Texas Rangers 6 times at the end of the season, and the Arizona Diamondbacks 3. The Diamondbacks could be trying for the wild card, or they could be terrible. The Texas Rangers could be trying for a wild card, like they have a competitive team, or they could be completely out of it. So like, it seems like all the schedules I look at, there's one team where it's like that's a pushover or that's a pesky team, and that makes or breaks schedules. I have one other here. The Rays schedule is very weird. They end the season with 2 interleague games, the Mets and the Phillies. The Rays' August is brutal. They go Boston, Boston, Yankees, 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 Boston, 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 Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Yankees, 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 Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays. Like the Rays' August blows. So I know there's a lot of other teams. There's a lot of schedules. I don't really know where we're going with this. Do you have any initial takes, Jake?
I'll kick it to Trevor first because I told you earlier the only thing that's going through my head right now, which I think is the fun of it for every fan base, but is the mental spin zone. It's, do you want to see that easy schedule late? Do you want to see the easy schedule early? Do you want to, I guess from a player's perspective, if you were in this 60-game sprint, would you want to see... would you want to see almost the best teams first and get it out of the way? Or, because I think one of the schedules I saw highlighted was the Brewers, I think. And their first couple series, they had a couple competitives, but then I think they had a nice stretch where it was like Royals, Tigers, and it was like, okay, I kind of like that for the Reds because everyone's going to be easing into this season. And then almost 2 weeks in, there's going to be no excuses, and that's when the Reds are going to be hitting the easy part of their schedule. So I like that spin zone. So I guess, Trevor, from the player aspect or whatever aspect you want.
I can spin it any way you want. You know, initially I was thinking to myself, you probably want your harder games first because you have expanded rosters. You're able to exploit some platoon matchups. And you might have your full team. You kind of never know what's going to happen towards the end of the year. But the flip side of that is you go out and you get hot and you win your first, 15 of 20 games, and you're kind of just sitting pretty after that. So I think all of it is a crapshoot because we've seen how many guys have been tested positive for COVID. And, the percentage is what the percentage is. But I'm just saying, like, we don't know where these teams are going to be at with their roster at any point during this season. So, yeah, the Yankees could have the easiest schedule towards the end, but if they lose, like, 2 of their starting pitchers to COVID, then we're like, oh, this is completely different. And it could happen to anybody. So we're going over the schedules, and we're kind of assuming that it's just, like, full strength of your roster for everybody, but we know that's not going to be the case. So I'm we'll see what happens, man. Like, that's going to be the biggest storylines of the year. I mean, it's what team keeps their players off of the COVID list. That team's probably going to do the best throughout the year.
Yeah, I agree. It's also like if a team gets bad, if the team starts off, are they just going to say the Nationals get off to a horrible start again like they did last year? Does Scherzer and crew just opt out? Be like, this ain't worth the risk anymore. See ya. And then whoever plays the Nationals at the end of the year, is that now literally a joke schedule?
I think you could see that, dude.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The Cubs have back-to-back off days. They're the only team that they're like you only get 6 off days, and the Cubs have 2 of them stacked. I wonder, Trev, as a player, does that good double rest day almost feel like, a whole month off? Or are you like, hey, what the fuck? Why didn't you spread this out?
I don't think you like it. I don't. And I was looking to see if there was some kind of travel that they needed to do, and it was like a day game after a night game, whatever. But there's not. So that's interesting that they're doing it, but because they're at home. Because if you look at the schedule, they're playing St. Louis on the 18th, then 2 off days, and they don't play again until the 21st at home. So I don't know what that's about. If I was a Cubs player, I would not like that. It gets you out of rhythm. I'm sure what they're going to do is that second off day, they're probably going to have an optional practice, which is like, as a player, you're just like, I want that off day. Like, spread them out and give me the off day. I don't need to come back for practice on one of my off days.
Yeah, the other thing is, they're opening up on the 23rd with the Yankees at the Nationals and the Giants at the Dodgers. That sucks for the teams that got pegged for those games because they have to get rid of one of their off days after one game. So you want to use your off days. You get 6 of them to rest and rejuvenate after a series, after 6 games. But because they're the opening, that's opening day in case of a rain out, they always give you an off day right after. So the Yankees have an off day and the Nationals right after opening day, which does kind of suck for them.
Yeah, why are they doing that? Because the other teams, the San Fran and the Dodgers, don't have. Because
they're not interleague. They're playing each other. They can play a 4-game set and keep it like that. So them getting Cole versus Scherzer for the marketable reason, which is good move market wise. It does suck for Yankees and Nationals that they burn an off day early. They basically only have 5 off days during the 60 games because you burn one right away. So that kind of sucks.
So something on the Yankees and Nats, the MLB Network, the schedule release show brought to you by Camping World, they called it Soto versus Glaber, which I enjoyed that. 2 young stars. Everyone's talking about Cole versus Scherzer, but get the young guys out there. I'm okay with that. And I think, I don't know, the only thing, I think the Yankees were a storyline last night. I know we try not to be Yankee-centric, but...
You do?
I've never brought it up. You always bring up Jeter and how good he is in different ways. But are they... The other stat that came out last night was the Yankees' best 60-game stretch and their worst. The Yankees' worst 60-game stretch last year, they were 37-23. Their worst. So, I mean, are we starting to get in Looney Tune area? Are you calling for that 50 burger, Trev?
Look, they're a good team. I don't know. I mean, I've said this before. They're one of the best teams in the league. I don't know what else you want me to say, except guess what? That was last year. No one cares about last year. Doesn't matter.
I kind of got lost in my thoughts, so I just sent Yankee stuff at you. Do we think we're going to get like a hyper lucky team this year?
Yeah.
Because, obviously, it's 60-game schedule and all that. But, you know, when you look at the front half of teams' rotations and the second half of teams' rotations, you get very different teams. You know, if you're the team that plays the Cardinals 3 times and each time you get Jack Flaherty, that sucks. There's going to be a team that plays the Cardinals 3 times and doesn't get Jack Flaherty. Is there going to be some team that just they get the 4 and 5 man of every team and they end up looking pretty good?
I don't know what show it was on. I don't know where it was, Jake, but you and I were discussing schedules and what's going to be good and what's going to be bad. And it was way farther going. I think I said some team's going to win 45. Like I said, some team is going to go out of their mind and just crush it. And now that I'm thinking about, like, if you're out, what's the point of playing? Studs are probably going to opt out because they can opt out with no repercussions, which leaves a lot of space for some teams to rack up wins. I think we might have some runaways, and I don't think it's going to be a lucky team. Like, I do think the cream of the crop will still rise here. I don't know, but I was looking at the Mariners.
It's a good point.
Mariners record last year. Well, how did they start out?
13-2, I think. Something silly.
Something sustainable.
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 2. So if we're saying 37 wins get you to division, does that even matter? Can you start out 13 and 2? Like, so what did they do by game 60?
I think they were like right around 500. It's like
they did like the opposite.
Yeah,
they were
like
25 and 35. So I'm kind of over the crapshoot aspect of this season. I do think the good teams will be good and the bad teams will be bad. But you never know.
But that's only assuming we have full rosters for everybody throughout the year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but it's hard to play the game if you.
Okay. So this was a point I wanted to bring up to you guys. The COVID injured list. What the fuck is it called?
Yes,
COVID list.
The CIL.
It's called the Secret Association of Sickness.
Joe West isn't going to be part of that, apparently.
SAS.
No way.
Joe West's not going to hurt Joe West.
No, Joe West.
All right, stop. We don't want to talk about Joe West.
Can't wait to have him on.
We love umpires on this show.
Yeah.
But
We
Joe
love
West
Dale Scott.
We love Dale
needs
Scott.
to relax. So what I was thinking was you test positive. Let's just say, I always just say Garrett Cole because it makes you guys mad. Just say Garrett Cole test positive.
Okay.
And then he has to have 2 negative tests spaced out 24 hours or something like that. But typically, let's just say 2 weeks. Who is he playing catch with those 2 weeks?
His wife.
He's not hurt.
Wife, Amy.
So he's going to give his wife COVID? He needs to be quarantined. So he can't even, technically, and maybe they have figured this out. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Like, what's he going to do for those 2 weeks? He can't throw a ball to somebody. He can't.
I mean,
he
Jake's
can't work
childhood.
Out.
Yeah.
He's going to throw it against the wall.
Just a barn. Okay. You know my childhood oddly well.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though? So then it turns into if you take 2 weeks off, and then now you have to kind of get your arm back in shape. We're not talking 2 weeks anymore. We're not talking 2 weeks. He's back on the mound at 2 weeks. We're talking 3 weeks probably. It's half the season.
You do a throw day, a simulated start at the 7-day point.
With who?
A catcher can wear a protective glove.
Are they going to do that? That seems very irresponsible to me.
Let me ask you the question. If you were running the Yankees and the difference between having Garrett Cole in shape and not was paying some guy to be covered in PPE and catch the ball from him, would you do it?
All right, so, I mean,
I'm just saying, I'm asking how they're going to do it.
Podcasts, Trev. Cashman listens to podcasts. That's how he hires all his people. It's how he hired Cressy and Tanner Smith. He listens to Talkin' Yanks. He's told us that. Cashman, if you're tuning into this, if you need to wrap myself in bubble wrap and I catch Cole and toss the ball back to him with 3 gloves on my hand, I'll do it.
It's a deal.
I just don't think I'm curious. I think obviously there's got to be a way to work around it, but in my head last night I was like, whoa. And this was 10 p.m. Trev.
Do you want to hear the sad truth, Trev?
Yes.
Guys are just going to not follow the rules.
That's one way to put it, yeah. Seems like you'd get in trouble for that.
I mean, I think if you just wear a glove.
Do you guys have an explanation?
Uh-oh.
Trevor Plouffe has gone missing off the face of the universe. We hope he's okay.
We're back?
Yeah. Yeah, we're back. I have no idea where we were. Anyone in the Patreon chat, can you tell us? Oh, they said talking about Boone and testing every 2 days. Talking about testing every 2 days and stuff. COVID testing and closing camps. That's where they say we were.
We were talking about Garrett Cole. What were they going to do? You
right.
said Cash would let you fucking dress
the
up
catcher.
in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No glove either. Just a guy standing there in bubble wrap.
I'm genuinely asking, what are they going to do for these guys? You know.
Yeah, like I said when I whispered it, I do think they will just skirt the rules if they want to, if they're in contention, or they which is shitty, and I know it's shitty, or they will shut guys down. I don't know,
They're
man.
going to find a way to let Garrett Cole throw his bullets, and I think you know that.
So,
like DJ LeMahieu's got it right now. I would doubt he's just sitting on a couch.
Maybe it's as easy as you just like these guys come in at odd hours to the stadium and Garrett Cole throws a bullpen into the net.
I mean,
It's
it's got to
be what they're going to do.
Wasn't there video yesterday of Sano taking soft toss and he has COVID and he was just doing it at his house?
Yeah, it could be, like I said, something as easy as buying him a net, giving him baseballs and say, throw, son.
Draw the square on the barn, man. Carry wood.
Yeah, or go Rookie of the Year style and start throwing laundry detergent into the washing machine.
Or that.
Or Little Giants, you take the TP and you throw it across the supermarket aisle into the cart.
Little Giants is a great movie, Trev. Thank you for dropping that.
I love Little Giants. But yeah, that's just funny to me to think. Like, you go on this COVID list and you're not supposed to be around anybody. But somebody got to get your work in.
You're going to get your work.
They're going to figure it out.
6 feet apart, PPE, done. Bang.
Dude, I'm
say it, kid.
Nah,
say
you don't want
you
me
were
to
so
say it.
close to
You
saying
don't
it.
want me to say it.
Let's hear you say it.
I'm rooting for some opt-outs in Toronto.
Jeez. Now we're a Yankee homer pod.
My.
That's come
you
on.
want to play the best.
Come on.
Like,
you
if
gotta
Ryu's like, screw this, I'm
gotta
done
beat the
after
best.
the first month, Yankee fan in me be like, okay, cool.
I mean, I don't think Ryu's a good pitcher, but the Yankees lineup is
Handsome.
suited very well to go ahead and beat up on Ryu.
I want it to be easy. Hey, do you think the Orioles are still going to hit the under? Because I think the Orioles are going to get trounced.
Oh yeah. It was my lock of the year, bet of the day, and Paul Goldschmidt, 2 for the kids.
God, I love that. You know, I told you guys I went and got myself a book, and none of those prop bets are listed, so I got to figure something out here.
Jim, know what I'll get you running on because this will excite you. But I think I've stumbled into a segment. And we referenced the Mariners before because they had their hot start, but everyone knew they sucked. Like, it was no secret. The 60 games, yes, the cream should rise to the top, but there will also be that second tier of teams that we've been talking about, whether it's, if you like the Phillies, if you think the D-backs are good, if you think, kind of these second-tier teams. The Cincinnati Reds, it looks like they have 2 of their first 3 series against the Tigers. So, like, again, I think if you start spinning things, if the Reds can stay in it and get some wins with their arms, I can spin that. And I think it's those second-tier teams.
That's a lot of pressure on the Reds. Tigers are pressure-free. They don't care about anything.
Sure.
If the Reds don't beat up the Tigers,
And it could also fall off very quickly, too.
like, see, that's a scarier situation for me. if the Yankees were to open up with 7 games in the first 10 versus the Orioles, it'd be like, oh, shit. I hope we start hot because there is no excuse if we don't go 6-1 here. So if I'm a Reds fan, I'm happy, but I'm also kind of nervous.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works. I like that the Yankees start against the National League where it's like, hopefully we go over 500. I'm not going to sweat it. There's still 30-man rosters. There's going to be some 5-and-fly stuff. At least all the 5-and-fly trip through the rotation isn't against the AL East. I'm very happy about that.
How much do you guys put in, like how much weight do you put on, and I feel so bad because I keep referencing this. I feel like it's going to come to fruition. But a guy like your starter, say like you said, the Blue Jays, they lose Ryu, or the Yankees, they use Cole, or the Nats, they lose Scherzer. Like, what does that do to your team? Like, what does that do to your playoff odds? It's gotta impact it tremendously. So the main concern for me, if I'm a GM or a manager, it's like my guys, my horses. Like I'm picking the Rays to be the World Series champ, and you got Morton, Glasnow, and Snow. I am taking those guys aside and saying, listen, don't do anything stupid. Like, do whatever you can to stay healthy because other teams are not going to be doing that. Like, let's make sure we're the one team that has you guys for the whole season. Like, do you think like that makes that big of a difference throughout the season if you lost your guy?
Yeah, when we had Booney on a press conference, we asked him, or someone else asked him about saving guys and being conservative, and he kind of flipped my whole brain on it. He was like, this season, more than ever, you have to go slow at the beginning because an injury, if a pitcher has to miss 2 weeks, that's a huge chunk of the season. If they have to miss a month, that's half the year. So if anything, you have to make sure an injury doesn't happen at all, more so than making sure you come out of the gates as hot and as fast as possible. Which kind of what you're saying, right, Trev?
Yeah.
Like, you almost need to be a little more babyish in the first 2 weeks.
Dude, I would be hiring personal assistants for these guys and just say, you guys are going to quarantine together, and your job, sir, is to make sure this guy doesn't do anything stupid. You're gonna make sure he has his mask at all times. You're gonna make sure he's washing his hands a ton of time. Like, you need to have that assurance, especially when a lot of teams are going to be relying on the tops of their rotation to bring him to the postseason here.
It's about limiting exposure, right? You've got normal injury concerns, but you've also got COVID could take you out for 2 weeks instantly. And what does that do to your performance? What does that do to your rhythm, et cetera, et cetera? So, Trev, I think I found the angle for you. And you've been kind of dancing around this topic a little bit, but I think I've got it even better for you. You know what you need? You need young guys.
Ooh. Now we're talking my language.
got BBD good with that one. All right, so you need young guys who are single and they're responsible. Because that means they're not coming in contact with their family. Because if you have a family, those people are going in there, getting in contact with other people, and that brings it up. So, I don't know enough about Jack Flaherty's dating life, but a guy like him, he's going back to an apartment, in theory, by himself in St. Louis. So he can go back, get the food delivered.
We've had that talk.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that can be your angle, the young single guy, which we've heard how much you swoon for that. Maybe that's the angle to take this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously best case scenario is just by yourself, like you said. Like if you have family and they're going to the grocery store or whatever, like there are chances that they get infected, you're going to get infected. That's going to be. We said this probably like 4 or 5 times now on this episode. That's the biggest, pitfall for these teams is like if and when these guys get tested, like it's going to affect our team. So we need to be as diligent as possible to make sure our horses are on the damn field. Because one COVID case at the wrong time, man, it derails your season. Especially in the postseason. My God, can you imagine, dude?
Postseason teams are going to act differently.
Can you imagine if it comes out, the Yankees have clinched, they go in, it's like 2 days before, and somebody comes and it's like, dude, they're essentially done.
Judge and
Glaber. Like crazy, man. And I think we're going to see that, unfortunately. You don't ever want to wish that upon teams, but the reality is we're going to have guys test positive, and it's going to affect the season dramatically.
I wouldn't be surprised for playoffs when playoffs get here if you see teams make their own stuff. Like guys have to like stay in hotels or something like that because we're talking about dudes being irresponsible when, hey, there's a giant luck factor to it too. But also, I mean, Trevor, imagine if it was you who you're in the playoffs and you're getting told that you're now out. Like, you would be devastated, I assume.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Like, not only, it doesn't even need to be said, but for yourself, but letting down your 25 other teammates because you went to 7-Eleven to get a candy bar or whatever. Like, I just think that pressure is going to be so much on guys that around playoff time, dudes just won't.
I have such the opposite opinion.
Okay.
And it's just cynical. I think once playoffs comes and some guy says I have corona, they're going to be like, no, you don't. Get on the mound. Like, I think
scandal,
it's gonna be
baby.
But I mean, if we're being honest, which way do you think they're actually going to lean?
Here's the deal, boys. Have a good game out there. Just nobody get too close to Judgy today, okay? You know what I'm saying?
That is lawsuit. That is so bad. They can't do that. They literally cannot.
They've been doing Phantom IL shit for.
This is different,
years.
dude. Like seriously,
I
can
know
you
it's
imagine?
different, but I mean, if you're in the postseason, I love the campy. They're gonna make everyone. It's wholesome. They're gonna care about everyone's health as much as possible. I don't buy it at all. I think they're gonna be like, "Hey, Judge, just don't fucking cough in right field loud enough for a fan to hear you."
We lost that sample again.
Yeah. It's fucking 4th of July.
No, but they can't.
Somehow.
That's the thing is they can't play unless they show the positive or negative or the negative.
True. Yeah, they
COVID
can't.
Results.
There's fake dicks for piss tests.
No,
Trev. There's fake dicks for piss tests. Trev.
You don't piss.
Wizinator.
I tell that to someone 40 years ago about. They'd probably be like, "There's no way to skirt a piss test," and then someone invented a fake dick.
Ooh, the old spit in my mouth so I can spit.
We've seen these two sides, the PA, MLB, go at each other for no reason at all. Can you imagine if the MLB PA found out that they were hiding a positive COVID test?
Oh, the players are in on it. I don't have the players being like, out. The players are in on it.
I say no chance that happens. It's not. It's way too risky for.
It would be very bad if you were to be saying what I was saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can be cynical and say that, but I think in this instance, in most instances, I totally agree with you, Jam. Shady shit happens all the time. I just think there's too much liability here to be doing that. I mean, literally, guys would. I mean, they'd have to fire the entire organization from top to bottom if that happened. It would
never come out.
This is the way for the players and owners to finally come together.
Yeah.
This will save us from the lockout
Alex
next year.
Cora won a World Series. He was riding high, and then shit came out. Some idiot got on his computer and did a mock-up of what they were saying, and
it'll be like the David Wells perfect game, the Doc Ellis LSD game. I was high when I did that. It's like,
I mean, it would have to be
so sick.
a top to bottom organization, almost willing to break the limits as one, and I just don't think you'll ever see that in baseball.
It's not something that happens in baseball.
So
it'll come out though. That's what we've seen time and time again, baby. Yeah. Like I said, you got some guy named Jomboy making sure that you're never going to have a job in baseball again.
Yeah.
Are you the most famous Yankee fan? You and Jake, are you guys
no, Billy Crystal.
Okay.
Chris Rock.
Adam Sandler.
Giuliani.
I didn't know Adam Sandler was a Yankee fan, so there you go.
Yeah, well, I listen to you guys on the podcast all the time, and
you're a
Trevor, Minnesota.
You're a top 5 Yankees.
Jomboy's big, dude. When you start going into the picture of baseball, it's kind of spooky. Oh, and this is actually more fun, and it'll make you less not like about it. You're one of the actual most hated people in the city of Houston. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever even been to Houston?
What?
Have
No.
you ever been there? This is great. You're
No.
like you
Too
never even
hot.
stepped foot in there.
I'd like to say I'll probably go to Houston, but I hope I don't, just because it's too hot.
Like,
Can you
there's-
imagine just regular season, like fans in the stands, and someone's like, "That's Jomboy," and then he whispered to his friend. Then all of a sudden, the whole stadium knows
Yeah.
you're there.
It would be a
dangerous
thing.
for you.
That'd be cool to get booed on the jumbotron. Like if I was in a
you would?
suite.
Yeah.
You know,
you
we
say
haven't
that.
in.
You've been booed before. It's not a good feeling.
No, it's terrible. I was thinking about doing that for the Office vlog, the behind the scenes. Like if we just did a
No.
boo week on someone.
Trevor, we senior year of college, we lived in a house. It was like 3 different apartments, but
In
it was
one
one
house?
house, and all of our dudes were in it. So it was basically 11 guys in one house. And so one week we started like booing one of our friends every time he came in a room. And so then we tried mixing it up on people, and it happened to Jim. It happened to me. But the first time you get booed, man, that's a
It's-
bad
yeah.
feeling.
It's like-
You just walk
Psychological
into the
warfare.
living room and everyone would be watching like a game, and our buddy Taylor would come in, and as soon as he steps foot in the room, like 10 guys would be like, boo. And they're like, we were joking. And then
and then he was kind of sad, so we were like, let's try it out on each other.
we'll mix it up. And then when it came to us, we're like, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah. What was the loudest you've ever been booed? Do you know?
I had a tough game at shortstop. And I don't remember the specifics of it, but I botched a ball like with Joe Nathan trying to close a game out. We were already a really bad team. I got booed very loudly in Minnesota. I mean, a couple times it happened, but that one in particular was tough.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It doesn't feel good.
Can we
though.
talk about the Rangers since we're talking about Texas? I got a lot of Rangers thoughts.
Rangers thoughts.
Lance Lynn just threw a bullpen, our live simulation game. He got really mad. He was facing Greg Bird. Then our dude Hearn came in. So it was 3 guys on the Rangers that, we've had personal conversations with. So I was in. Then the Rangers tweeted at me. So I'm excited. I go to the Rangers schedule that finally lands me at the Rangers schedule for the first time. I'm loving it.
Oh.
If they can get out to a hot start, their first 10 games against the Rockies, the Rockies, the Rockies, the Rockies, the Rockies. 5 games against the Rockies.
5-gamer versus the Rocks to
to
start
to start.
Wow.
in
then-
Texas?
Yeah. The fucking dude, the the Rangers burned 3 of their 6 off days in July. How much does that suck? They go 2 games off day, 3 games off day, 2 games off day. The Rangers got to be like, what the hell?
Stay fresh.
Wait, say that they burned
You get
3 off
you
days?
get- in July.
Oh, man.
They have 2 off days in August and 1 off day in September. So if they can
What?
do good against the Rockies, that sucks, man. It's brutal. They could do good against the Rockies in Arizona. Then they go for a 3-game set against San Francisco. So you got 5 games against the Rockies, 3 against San Francisco, 2 against Arizona, off days galore, so you can rest and relax and all that stuff. Then it gets real where they go Oakland, Angels, Seattle. They can get to a hot start. They don't face Houston until the very end of September.
Make them
So
count.
I'm hoping that when they get to Houston, those games count.
I don't know what to think about the Rangers, to be honest with you.
Right?
There's a lot of teams that are tough reads this year. They're one of them. But that 3 off days in a span of a week, what is it, 10 days?
Yeah, I was saying the Yankees are probably upset because they burned 1 after 1 game, but they burned 3 in their first 6 games.
That's insane. That is insane.
I'm officially rooting for the Rangers.
Oh, the first 2 are exhibition.
Okay. That makes more sense.
That makes so much more
Okay.
sense.
But you're right though. No,
1,
you're right though. They
2
still burn 3.
They still burn
By
3.
the time, August 3rd they have one. So I mean, you're talking in a span of 10 days.
Yeah, so they
They
still
burnt
burn
3
3
off
right
days.
away. So I
Right
had it
away.
wrong. They don't do Colorado 5 times. They do 2 exhibition versus Colorado. Everything I said still works, even
2
though I
off
had
days in August.
that wrong. They have 2 off days in
Yeah,
August,
but
but they still have 3 in their first.
8 games.
8 games.
But 8
Yeah.
games, they have 3 off days. That's stupid. That's dumb.
That sucks.
And
Anyway, and then I was on the Rangers Twitter account. I didn't know that Roughneck Odor was bald.
about that?
Did you?
Yeah.
And we're talking about a tough-looking guy, and then to have that under the hat.
Say that to his face.
No, punch me.
Dare you?
Sock me right in the face.
Yeah, he's not going to win any beauty pageants. He's not going to make my list of hottest guys in the show.
That's fair. I'll allow that.
People are excited about your list of hottest guys in the show.
I've been asking people to help out because I know some guys. I don't know everybody though, so
Sure.
I want to get different opinions. So I had the ladies down from Mansplain Baseball Elsewhere.
Yep.
I think you're wearing a shirt.
MBE.
Are you not?
I think
wearing a
it's
shirt?
affiliated. Kind of. Yes and no.
Okay. Well, I asked them to help out, and they sent me over a list, and I thought it was pretty bad.
Ooh.
So now I'm thinking my definition of good looking is probably different than theirs, and maybe that's a good thing.
Wait, who did they send over? I missed that. You?
Do you want me to send over their list?
Do you have it?
To talk about the
Let's
list?
do a quick
They sent me a list.
Quick run through. We'll do yes or no. Instant reaction. Scale of 1 to 10.
Johan Camargo, which I didn't know. I don't know this guy, but he's a Brave. So it makes sense
they're
for
Braves
them.
fans. They're gonna love
Pretty
this
good
segment.
looking guy.
Did they do like
Pretty
all
good-looking
Braves, or are we just starting
No.
with Johan Camargo?
If they
Okay.
did all Braves.
Because then I was gonna say you got Camargo, yeah, it's cute.
Well, when you Google Johan
he's a good-looking
Camargo
guy.
images, Dansby Swanson comes up, which seems like a cheat
yeah,
code.
I mean 6'3". Dansby's the play in Atlanta.
Yeah,
If not Culberson.
if each team gets one guy, Camargo's not cracking the roster for the Braves.
They seem to have
cute.
some affinity
He's
for this
cute.
guy. So okay,
He's cute, not hot.
Number 2, you guys will like, but I disagree with it. Tommy Canley.
Oh, well,
Canley.
he's got a nice ass.
Canley's got great legs.
The Tommy Tight Pants. So
You would have liked to see
All right.
BBD had a nice lean in the corner and was like, yeah, I get it.
he wouldn't crack my list.
get
They're
it.
0 for 2 with me. These
I get
Yeah,
the
I'm not a-
angle. I get the
Ashland
angle.
I'm
and
not a fan
Emily
of that because
and-
I also think there's different levels to like hot. So like job
Yes.
security, like contract
Ooh.
situation, how good you are, a lot of
It-
different things.
If your sister brings home Tommy Canley, you're not happy. In the nicest way to Tommy.
Well, he's just so loud. He probably chews with his mouth open and stuff like that.
He's a friend of
He's
the
a
program.
friend. He's from the pod, yeah.
He's been on the
there you go.
pod.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be fine
All right.
saying
Yeah.
that. He would love that.
I'm gonna go through
Mary.
these a little quicker.
So this is
Chris
by- if
Bryant,
anyone-
which I get.
Yeah.
Since we're giving people their list, we'll give them a proper shout out. It's Marla, Emily, and Ashland. They have a podcast called Mansplain Baseball Elsewhere. Very active on Twitter.
Bryant's hot. It's 7'8".
Who is this?
Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's
Oh,
number
yeah,
3.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
eyes. It's
Got
the
the
eyes.
eyes.
He's got a good jaw.
He's what
line.
Zac Efron thinks he looks like. But Zac Efron's 5'8". Chris Bryant's what, 6'3"?
Girls don't
I
care
was gonna
about
say Zac
height.
Efron's probably a better looking guy, but yeah, the height thing that
Girls-
plays.
Girls don't care about height.
No, not at all.
No.
4, Fernando Tatis Jr. Not really on that one either.
He's
I
young.
can see he's
He's
young.
young.
I like that about him, obviously.
Yeah.
This is the one that really got me. This is the one that really got me.
I'm not into Tatis Jr.
I am.
I'm not either.
I am.
He has the intangibles, but the actual looks, I'm not into.
I'm into it.
Francisco Cervelli.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Get out of here with that one. That's the
Francisco
one that I think
Cervelli is the guy your mom brings home after her divorce. And you're like, no fucking way, Mom.
Yeah.
No way.
I looked at him today and actually showed a picture of him to my wife Olivia, and she kind of gave me one of these, like, like he's not a classically handsome dude.
Francisco Cervelli should not be on the hot boys of summer list.
You guys are out of your mind.
And then the rest
He's
I kind of agree with.
dangerous. I love Cervelli.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever seen him crab walk across his grass, Trev?
I have.
I have not.
Oh, my
I
God.
don't think it changes my opinion on
Yeah,
his looks.
show Olivia that
Maybe.
video.
All right.
Then the rest I kind of agree with. I'll go quickly.
Okay.
Arenado,
Ooh.
Luis Robert, Jake Arrieta, who I agree with.
Okay.
He's like the old eccentric, like sugar daddy. That's what I would categorize him as. Rich dude, got a good bod.
I see Arrieta's
Older.
look. I get that. That's a different.
Manly, very
It's a different
manly.
taste. Yes.
Yeah, he's got like Belzerian vibe. What's that guy's name?
A little bit.
Yeah, but he's way cooler than
Yeah.
him. So points for that. Hosmer and Lindor
Yep.
round out their top 10.
Yeah.
Hosmer, I mean, chicks love Hosmer. There's no doubt about it. He's tall. He's got a good smile, and he's like that energetic dude. Like he just walks into a room, you're like, oh, there's Eric Hosmer. Love that. So,
Not
but
a lot
then
of
they're
pitchers
honorable
on their
mentions.
list.
So you mentioned Swansby and Charlie Culberson, and they refer to them as Swanberson.
Yeah.
So they combine the two.
They look so similar.
But any list that doesn't have Dansby Swanson, that's a tough one for me to say. Dansby Swanson in the top 5 is not a good list for me. I'll be coming out with my list.
I'm a sucker for Matt Olson, man. He's kind of got a little bit of a younger Braun look going on.
I think you guys know who my number 1 is. I don't think there's any debating it. Really, if you just broke it down, like the best looking guy in the big leagues right now is Max Kepler.
Yeah, you are big on that.
It's not even really up for debate. So,
Agree to disagree.
who's your number 1?
Jake likes Austin Hedges.
Yeah, Hedges is really hot, but he's like on the fringe now.
Is that Cervelli?
Yeah.
Cervelli.
I mean, you look at that, he's not making your list. We got to have a talk.
Dude,
Yeah.
Cervelli is just the best, though. That's the main problem. It's just the best.
Can you give me your number 1, Jake? I think you were going to. And
That's how you keep the people coming back, Trevor. We're gonna save that for next time.
I will say this is active players too. Like obviously, I know a lot of ladies are gonna want to put me on their list.
Right.
Not active anymore.
Well, and that's my like Austin Hedges is a really good looking dude, but I don't even know where he's at with the Padres right now. And I loved what you said. Like I think there's something to a level of hotness of having your position locked down and
What
you're
about
ready
Bryce?
to go.
Like Bryce can look pretty good sometimes.
It's a look.
Oh, this has Syndergaard on there. He tweeted at me the other day, but I'm not there. Oh, dude, Longoria, come on.
Ooh.
I like Longoria.
Yeah.
He's another guy that kind of fits that Jake Arrieta mold, sugar daddy. Like he's made the big bucks. He's got the stature, which a lot you want to break it down. That's kind of a big thing for, at least in my experience.
What do you mean?
This stupid website has Clayton Kershaw on here. It's just not a thing. Cole Hamels, that's what I was looking for. Oh,
Cole
my
Hamels
God,
is
this
good.
website also has Daniel Murphy, and I'm off this website.
Yeah.
Kershaw and Murphy,
Yeah, that's a
and
bad
your
list.
hottest guys in baseball? Eat
That's
my
why I wanted to make a
butt.
definitive list. I know, Jake, you did that last year.
I did last
didn't
year. I
know.
think the article has been taken off the website, which makes
Yeah, we
sense.
changed our website, so it
Which
all
makes
got
sense.
lost.
Well, if you want to
Oh,
participate
man.
with me, I will be doing my list soon.
We and I can't take full credit. I do have to give this to the chat, but Samuel Archila, the number one person that I think you could put him on your hot list. He's the number one person that I'd be fine with my sister bringing home for the holidays. It's Cole Tucker.
Oh, Cole! I haven't
Yeah.
even thought about Cole Tucker. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he's the full package.
yeah, everything.
He needs a little bit more dough, a little bit more service time for me because
It's coming. You are a service.
I'm looking to
time
marry
guy.
up.
You are a service time guy. Is Soto cute?
Juan?
No, he's not.
No, he kind of looks 40.
I
Yeah.
can kind of give my top 3 or 4 if you want me to just do that. Real quick, it's going to be Max
Nobody
Kepler.
asked. Nobody asked.
Okay, Max Kepler.
Nobody
Max
inquired.
Kepler,
Yeah.
I actually think Tim Anderson's a good-looking dude. I think he needs to be
Yeah.
included on there. I just the whole vibe is there for
Yeah.
me.
Little southern twang.
Dansby Swanson's going to be on there for sure. He's kind of got that whole thing going as well. And then I think the last list I put out, my man crush list, had
San-
Longoria and Arrieta on it as well.
There is one huge miss thus far, and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Jack? Is that Gollum?
That's Birch Smith.
Schmeagle before he became Gollum.
It's Birch Smith, and he's my favorite player in MLB history. Oh,
No
God.
offense to them.
I can't do Birch Smith. Yeah, I was going to say Birch Smith, Altuve, Sandoval, all the a lot of different angles.
Bart. All right.
Ooh. All right.
Tyler Wade's pretty attractive too.
Tyler Wade.
Interesting. It's tough for me to include him because you're adjacent to him.
Right.
It essentially means you're on the list.
I already know what you think. You would. So.
Okay, we'll end the show there. Jake confidently saying that Trev would bang him.
Late nights in the RV. Late nights in the RV.
It didn't happen.
The music is playing.